Jason, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us.
You're welcome.
So to start off with, can you just tell us a bit about the project that you're working on at the Create-a-thon?
At this Create-a-thon, I suggested something to do with creating a game version of how to introduce the concept of basic income. So I've been playing some what they call non-zero-sum games or cooperative games. It's kind of a new field, it seems like, of game development. And there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. I've looked at Pandemic.
Yeah, I've played that one, yeah.
And the one of our team members suggested, which was Forbidden Desert, which is another pretty close to what I've stolen a lot of ideas from Forbidden Deserts. The plan is to make this completely open source, trying to use resources that would be really cheap to access at like a local. We're working on a Scrabble board, and we're using 2 decks of cards and some poker chips right now. So we're trying to keep it to that. We've developed some player information, so we've developed character classes, and we've to represent the diversity of the economy. We've broken it down into 4 classes: the explorer, the one that takes the high risk; the farmer or developer, the one that takes explored land, converts it to something that can produce resources; the scientist, who comes on and automates. The farmer can move on and farm other fields, so it's this chain of things that you like to see in a thriving society. So we try to capture broadly in these classes those elements. And then last and not least, we've created a role for the logistics person, the one that could be called either the banker or the politician or whatever. They deal with finances and they deal with the actual distribution. Making that person sort of the center of gravity. Like, you have to remain, that person sort of coordinates and distributes the basic income each round that pays for the resources to develop.
Yeah, that's really cool. So in a game like Pandemic, you are trying to achieve a goal, which is to save planet Earth from a terrible disease. What's the goal, or sort of is it more just like maintaining a productive society?
So to the fictional context that it's set in right now is an alien planet. So we're colonizing a new planet. So one of the new star systems we've seen, that has the 7 Earth-like bodies.
Right. Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah. We sent a spaceship out. Well, things that people have to consider is that the people that are arriving there probably will never have known anything of Earth. They will have either been born and raised inside the ship, or they're in test tubes, or whatever it is. So, and then when you get there, you have to provide them a basic plan to grow and thrive. And I think, I really sincerely believe that you'd have some kind of basic income system to bootstrap your economy on a new planet. Because to help, if you think there's benefits to having a social currency where we exchange things like units of money, currency, to provide access to resources, but also to develop things and to thrive together. And what the game is trying to show is that the more balanced it is, given the needs and risks and everything else that's going on in the game board, how do you survive a hostile alien world? And we create hostility through environmental factors. There's a storm that basically runs around the board, causing sand dunes to build up, and then eventually unpassable territory, and it can destroy your developed land. And then, so we're trying to come up with the game mechanics right now to balance out, the destruction with the ability to come together with these specialized classes to develop like a thriving civilization. So the name of the game is Thrive or Die.
Okay.
And that's what kind of the gist of what I think basic income could be a foundational leg of a thriving society. Not the only leg, but a very foundational leg. Like a basic. We want to guarantee that basic necessity. Make sure you can survive. Calamity and some other things will support you. If we coordinate and plan and cooperate together well enough, we can survive anything.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like.
So what was the motivation for this? What gave you the idea to take on a project like this?
So I've been to the prior San Francisco Create-a-thon. I participated in the software project in that one. I did some data science for the next one in LA, which was last year. So it's me and my usual partner Alexis. We're part of a group called Articulate Research. We're trying to get a business going off of that. We're trying to take part of our time to advance social projects like this, in addition to being a consulting firm. So we support ourselves. Hopefully we can build up enough businesses to both support ourselves and then to do these side projects that help all of us. But this time she's in Peru this time, a special women's tech getaway kind of thing that she won a prize for. So I was up to my own devices, and I thought I've been playing some interesting board games with some friends that was introducing these kind of concepts. I thought there's something to it that you get a more intuitive feel when you're playing through the game. You can see how economies could work differently than they do right now. And I think that may help to introduce it a bit better, like you can do it at a party. I'd like to have it so that anybody could set it up if they, at a party, maybe we could develop like an actual edition that's like, where instead of playing cards, we have like specially made cards and all that stuff, so you could still, and that money maybe go into the system to, somehow be plugged back into developing it and promoting the idea.
Yeah.
And then connecting people when they play this game, they can give them like we'll have a website and give them resources to link to and all that. So if they're interested, and they can forward it to their friends and all that kind of stuff, and spread the word through playful learning, which I think is the easiest way to learn for people.
Yeah.
Instead of like boring. I thought about explaining a complicated, because I do love wonkery, I do love policy. I think about like how to fix the system. You think about that a lot, like what are the policies that are hindering, what could we change to make things easier. But expressing it is really boring to most. And to make a policy wonk paper and just publish it, it's kind of, it doesn't have a connect, it doesn't engage people very easily.
Like I'm unlikely to spend 2 hours on a policy paper, but I could definitely spend 2 hours on a game.
Exactly.
Right.
And so I think playing the game gets you habituated to the idea, and it becomes easier to think about the mechanics of it in your own way, like how you understand it. I like the fact that it shows that a diversity of roles are required. So your specialized class has benefits. So it's like kind of like a D&D character class. You have each character class has its own specialization that makes it easier for them to either farm or develop or whatever. But they can all do all the other roles too, so that they're just a lot more expensive to have the politician farming or whatever. It's
right. And it certainly seems like a cooperative game is very well aligned with the view of why we should have basic income and what it could do.
It sustains a diverse economy.
Right.
So these are the minimal elements we could come up with to show the diverse economic mutual benefit thing. And our goal is to create each round to encourage a lot of collaboration and cooperation to plan ahead. Like if you do that and that and that, like you figure out your moves together ahead of time, then you can plan it out and achieve more than if you just did things individually, like you usually do in a zero-sum game where you're fighting to be the winner of the board, whatever it is. So it's all of you against the elements, essentially.